Salam ala Rasulillah. We're back with the second lesson, inshallah ta'ala, in the um, learning the Arabic alphabet. We have our brother Abdullah with us. How are you, Akhi?
I'm doing good.
Alhamdulillah. You said you did the homework, but you didn't send it to me, so let's read through it real quick. We got 5 lines. Let's read it, inshallah, right here.
Which
We
one
have
starting at
line
one?
1. Where it says 1. I'm going to try to blow it up a little bit. What happened?
Wrong page.
1 second. Okay. Go ahead, line 1.
Thabutha,
Tabutha,
thibutha,
thibutha,
thabuta,
tabuta,
thubita,
thubita,
batutha,
batutha, mashallah,
tabitu,
tabitu. Naam. Line 2.
batuthi,
Batuthi,
tabitu,
tabitu. Naam.
bathuba,
Bathuba. Naam.
thubati,
Thubati. Yep.
butathi,
Butathi. Yeah, that's kind of unclear what that is right there. Could be a dhamma, could be a fatha. It's kind of unclear. Okay, then we had the next letter. The next letter we learned was the noon, and we had 3 lines of homework there. We also had the sukoon introduced to it here, so that made it a little bit different.
No problem. Nathbutu,
Nathbutu, yes.
tanbutu,
Yep.
thabutna,
Yep.
tubna,
Yep. Yep.
nanbutu,
Yep. Excellent.
nabatna,
Nabatna. Yep.
banat,
Banat. Exactly.
tubna,
Tubna. Exactly. Excellent.
nabatat,
Excellent.
Nathabutu.
I think this is a ta here, but it doesn't matter. If we just say it's a noon, we say nathbutu or tathbutu.
Oh, okay.
Nathbutu or tathbutu.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Some of these are a little bit harder to read.
Yeah, you're doing excellent. No problem.
Which one were we at? The bottom one?
We're right here.
Okay. Tatubna.
Tatubna. Yep.
Tanbutu.
Tanbutu. Yep.
Thabutan.
Thabutat, but that's good. No problem. If it was a noon,
yeah.
If it was the noon, it would come down below.
Right.
Go ahead.
Tathibu.
Excellent.
Tathbutu. na, tathibna.
Excellent. Jazakallah khairan. Obviously, you did your studying. Almost you want to say you've studied this before. Okay, this next second lesson, we're going to get 4 new letters. However, we're also going to get something, and I'm going to explain it here on a blank page that maybe make it a little easier for us using this blank page. Okay, we have something called, my pen stopped jumping on me, or the paper. We have something called tenween. Now I don't want to write. Tenween. Tenween here. So far we learned, before we learned, if we have a line here, that's we write our letters on the line. We have this, it represents the sound. We have this, it represents the I sound. And we have this, it represents the sound, right? Fatha, kasra, dhamma. Now, when we have something called a tenween, you'll see 2 of them right on top of each other.
Right.
And you'll see a dhamma. It can look like this, 2 dhammas, or they can write it as almost like a 6-9. They'll write it in one of these 3 ways, right? 2 dhammas next to each other, or they'll make it like a 6-9, or they'll make it like a 6-9 in cursive connected. What does this mean? This means when we see it, we're going to say N. In and un. We're going to put an N on the end of those, fatha, kasra, and dhamma. So the N is going to be 2 fathas, in is going to be 2 kasras, and un is going to be 2 dhammas. And what this is, it shows us that a word is indefinite. A word is indefinite. If you have this, not all indefinite words are going to have this, but if you see this, then definitely the word is indefinite. What do we mean by indefinite? We mean by a house versus the house. The house is definite. A house is indefinite. A car, a bike, a street, a chair, a masjid, so on. If you see this tenween, then it means indefinite. So you're already learning a little bit of some grammar rules a little bit here, right? You're able to tell some endings of words, and it gives you some meaning. Is that clear to you?
Yep.
Okay. So now we switch over to lesson 2. The second lesson, our first letter is lam. Lam. And it makes the sound. So we have la, lo, le. When we look at this right here, we have la, lo, le. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And you don't have any questions about it?
No, makes sense.
Okay, so now let's read our first word. They give us a little bit of a cheat sheet here. They write it out next to it where if you get stuck, you can look over there on the left and see how it should be pronounced. But try our best not to look there, not to cheat, and just try to read just the Arabic.
So, bal.
Bal, right?
Bal.
Bal. That's it. Exactly. The next one.
Nab. Nablin.
Nablin. We have our sukoon here, which makes us say nab. And then we have lin, right? And then we have the next word.
nablun.
Nablun, 2 syllables. Nablun, exactly. These words don't mean anything yet. These collection of letters and vowels and stuff, they don't mean anything yet, but we're getting close that we're going to be able to start to make words very soon. And the beauty of this book, as I said last time, is that we learn to make words, and not just any words where we say car, house, bike, key, door, masjid. No, you're going to be able to say words like I have a car, you have a house, and so on. So you're not just going to learn words, but you're going to learn words that you can put together to make short, simple sentences. And that's going to be in lesson 5. We're going to start doing that. In lesson 5, we're going to start doing that. Okay, let's read this line right here. The first line at the top of page 5.
Lebanon.
Lebanon, exactly. It almost looks like it has the same thing. It has dhammas at the top, but if it does, that's definitely a mistake.
Okay, that was a little confusing having both there. Yeah, Lebanon.
Lebanon, exactly. Next.
Tibnan.
Tibnun, exactly. Next.
Tibnan.
Tibnin.
But that's just a single word there, right? Bubu lun. Bulbulun.
Bulbulun. No, bulbulun. This is actually a word. Bulbul, bulbulun, or bulbul. If it had, bulbul here. This is actually a nightingale. This is actually, although it's not one of the words that we'll have in our book, because we do have a vocabulary that is built up in our book. This is actually a word, bulbul. It's a nightingale, a type of bird.
That's cool. I already have some words
The
down.
next one.
Bull. Is that a bulbul? The last one's a little bit confusing. I guess that's the ending form of the L, right? Bulbul and
Bulbulin.
yeah.
Bulbulin. Okay, let me tell you something why it may be confusing. We have bulbulun, we have bulbulin. It's the same word. Both of them, bulbul, mean nightingale. If we were just to put another sukoon on the lamb. The fatha, the kasra, and the dhamma. The fatha, the kasra, and the dhamma. When they're at the end of a word, they tell us what part of speech that is. This is something you'll learn later on. But when they're at the end of a word. Now, this dhamma here in the beginning, it doesn't tell us what part of speech. This one here in the middle doesn't tell us. But when it's here at the end, when we see dhamma here at the end, we see kasra here at the end, or eventually we'll see fathas at the end, then they're telling us what part of speech that is in the sentence. But we're going to learn that later on. But they're the same word, basically. Bulbulun and bulbulin are the exact same word. Just one is with kasras and one is with dhammas.
It's just a little bit confusing because it looks like the same writing.
It is the same word.
Or like the na, or like the little under half circle.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it would have, if it would be a dot more than lines. But
yeah,
sometimes it's unclear.
Yeah, I was expecting like a dot to be there instead of it just.
Yeah, no problem.
Nothing.
The noon definitely has that look, except this one, the noon cuts off here in the middle. This lamb, I should have showed that in the beginning and I didn't. This lamb, that's my fault. That's bad teaching. That's my fault. I apologize. This lamb, when we put it on a line, it goes all the way to the top. It goes over the halfway mark. So we see, like when we have here, these other letters. I don't know why my pen gives up writing on me. Maybe my battery's getting bad. I don't know. Whenever I erase. So we see these other letters that we learned, the ba, ta, tha, and noon, they only go up to around halfway. The others, the lamb, it goes all the way up to the top. And in fact, someone might write and complain about me and say that it actually goes a little under the line. Someone might say that little hook goes under the line a little bit. But for the most part, if you make it flat, it's not a problem. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You want to get pretty and start to learn cursive and not cursive, but what's it called? Calligraphy. Then there's other rules. But for now, right, it doesn't matter if you have it on the line or a little bit below the line like it is here, then that's fine. But it's a tall letter. So you can see here, the noon, it cuts off, right? It cuts off in the middle, whereas the lamb goes all the way up to the top line. Clear?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, now we're on this line.
The third line? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Benton.
Benton. Now, bent, let's just say we stop there. Bent, and these two words are the same, just have different endings. Bent means girl or daughter. Girl or daughter, depending on the context. Bent means girl or daughter. Just telling you some words. You don't have to memorize them yet. They're gonna, when we get to words you need to memorize, they're gonna give us their definitions and stuff. But I'm just telling you right now, you're already reading words. Bulbul, bent, Leban is actually Leban in old Arabic during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was milk. We use a different word for milk today. And the word Leban today means yogurt.
Is that in all dialects?
No, it's not a dialect. It's just how they use it today. I mean, Leban, yogurt is actually made from milk. So it has this. But we just have a different word that we use today. And actually, the way that it was used back then is the opposite from how it's used today. The word for yogurt back then is the word for milk today, and vice versa. But Leban is yogurt today and milk during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So if you read it in like a hadith or something, you would read it in like the old
Leban,
way?
it would. Yeah, if you read it Leban in hadith, it would mean milk. But if you go to the store today and ask for Leban, they're going to give you yogurt.
Interesting.
No problem. These are just extra things. You know, they're not part of our vocabulary yet. They're just extra. And tibin is chopped up straw, like you would use for feeding animals. Tibin is chopped up straw that you would use for feeding animals or making like clay bricks out of, how some people will try to build their houses out of original materials, and they'll make like bricks or mud walls and they'll mix hay in it. This is tibin. These are just all words. So here we read Benton. The next word is
Ben Benton.
Benton. Same meaning, daughter, but just it has a different position in the sentence. But these aren't sentences right now. We're just teaching reading. Next.
Sultan.
Yep, thulthun, exactly. Thulth is 1/3. Thulth, right?
Thulth.
1/3. Just telling you what words are, so you can kind of like, feel motivated that you're not just reading a bunch of sounds.
Yeah, it's good information.
Let's read this next line, and the next line is going to be your homework.
Banat.
Banat.
Nablun.
Nablun.
Nabton.
Nabtun, exactly.
Bonton.
Bin.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Benton. Yeah, Benton.
Benton. Nam.
Benton.
Benton. Okay. These next three, let's leave them for your homework, okay?
Okay.
Okay, our next letter looks like the lamb, right? Except it's got this little curly Q thing inside of it. And again, just like the lamb, it goes up to the top. This letter is called kaf, and it makes the k sound. K, like kite, kitten, k, right?
Yep. Write that down real quick.
Now, this one's a little bit different in the fact that in the beginning and the middle, it looks different than it does. Kind of like how the ba, the ta, and the that, something is cut off. This kaf is a little bit complicated. This kaf in the beginning, it looks like this. Right? Looks like a S almost. And then you would connect letters here. In the middle, you're going to write it like this. You're going to come off, say you have your bat, tat. You're going to come up and then over and then just put a line. Right? That's your calf in the middle here. And at the end, it looks like it does when it's isolated. It just has a little tail in the front here to connect to the letter in front of it. So this letter is a little bit more complicated just because of how it changes in the beginning. And it's really, that I can think of off the top of my head right now, is really the only letter that does that changes in such a drastic way. The rest of them are all pretty much, they all pretty much look the same everywhere. But this one, it's almost three different looks. So in the beginning, we have that kind of funny shaped S. In the middle, we have that S again, but it's not quite as drastic. And in the end, it looks like that.
Sounds
Following
good.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have here in this first line, just read. Huh?
I said just gonna take some practice.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Everything is just practice. Sometimes things need more practice than others. So here we look at, we say ki, ku, ka. in this forest line right here. Ki, ku, ka.
Makes sense.
Okay, now you're going to actually get into real words here. But we're not learning the words yet. We're not learning the definitions, but we'll go through it a little bit because I don't want to confuse you too much. But we'll do some of them, not all of them, but some of them. And inshallah, once we get into the actual definitions, you'll have done these words a number of times and it will be so easy and clear to you. So let's read this first one.
Kataba.
Kataba. Kataba means he wrote. He wrote.
Kataba. How do you know? How do I know to say ah or ah?
Based on the letter. Kataba. Kataba, we'll learn if it's going to be or we'll learn it'll be certain letters. There's really somewhat, there's no big difference right now either. Just kataba.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right
I
now,
even watched like they should all be. I watched a couple of videos of like the first lesson, the
Batutha and na, and
like different people pronounce them differently, so it's like seems like there's
yeah,
not
it's a
any
little. This
standard.
just kind of. You don't want to be doing ba ba ba. You don't want to be doing anything drastic like that. But cat or cup, there's not much difference. You know, it's just how you said it. It's not a big deal. But you don't want to be going around ka ta ba. You don't want, like I said, making some drastic change. But cat or cut, no big deal.
sounds good.
Okay, so
whenever you see these three letters, Arabic is a language that based on roots. Okay, meaning we have something similar in English a little bit, but you got to know Latin and Greek and French, and you got to know all these other languages to know where it came from. So when we see like psy, we automatically know it has something to do with the mind, psychology, psychotic, something. When we see these three words, we know it means this, right? And there's other prefixes and suffixes and other main body root words that when we see them, we know it has to do with something like ology, geology. Geo means earth, ology means study, psychology, study of the mind, physiology. All these ology means something. Phys means with the body, and so on. So Arabic is like this, but much, much stronger. Much stronger than the English does. Every word basically has a root. So whenever you see these three letters in this order, kataba, it has something to do with writing. Okay? Let me see something. I'm gonna go outside of our lesson just a little bit, just to give you an example. So kataba. Okay, these three mean to write. I can say kitab. I can say this is a book. I can say katib. That's a scribe, like a secretary. I can say mektaba. That means a library or an office. I can say mektab, which means a desk, right? And there's lots of words that we can make out of this cat, tap, bat. They all have something to do with writing. Whereas if I were to say it in English, book, he writes, or he wrote, book, secretary, however you spell it, secretary, office, and desk. just by hearing those words in English, if I said the secretary wrote a book on his desk in the office, if you don't know English, you don't know what I just said. But if I said al-katab al-katib kitaban fi maktabatihi ala al-maktab, and you know katib and kataba has something to do with writing, now you're at least familiar with something going on. You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's firmly grounded in roots. Firmly grounded in roots. Arabic has roots. And that's why it's such a rich language. And those roots follow patterns and so on. So once you understand one pattern and then you learn another root, you can put that word on that same pattern. So I know this is not in our lesson, so I'm trying not to go too far out of it, but I'm just trying to show you what you have to look forward to. So we said katib is a scribe, someone who writes, right?
Right.
I could take another set of letters. I'm trying to think of a set real quick. Just give me, I give you kharaja. These aren't, you don't have these yet. Kharaja, these are letters, right? You don't have these yet. But if I, so I can't give them to you yet. Just forget what I'm saying. Forget what I'm saying. I'm sorry. You got, I'm trying to give you letters that you don't have. Anyway, there's scales, there's formats, there's formulas that the words will fit into. Just like the katib is the one who writes, you can get another form of letters and say that's the one who does that thing. You understand? On the same formula of putting the letters together. But we'll get there. Give us a few more lessons. As soon as we have a few more letters, we'll be able to do what I'm telling you, inshallah. Sorry about that. Let's read this
Oh,
one.
that's still good knowledge. Tuba.
Taktubu. Exactly. The next one.
Laka.
Laka means you have. Now, you notice this has ba. It has something to do with writing. But because I don't want to go too far, I'm not going to tell you what it means right now.
Yeah, okay.
But it has something to do with writing. Okay, next one here. Next line.
Kalbun.
Kalbun. Kalbun is a dog. That's one of our words that we're going to have. Kelb is a dog.
Kalbun.
Okay, so
Katab. Katabta.
Tabta. Exactly. Next. Naktubu. Exactly. Next.
Tubna.
Taktubna. Next. Bintuka. Exactly. Next.
Kalbuka.
Kelbuka. Yep.
Kalbuka.
Tibnuka. Let's read this next line, and then the next three you do for homework.
Okay.
Kutiba.
Kutiba, exactly.
Laka. Right, laka.
Laka, yep.
Kal, kalbin.
Kalbin, yep.
Ka- kitab, kitabna.
Katabna, exactly.
Kitab, kitaba, kitabat.
Katabat, yep.
Kitabat.
Katabat. These next three lines are your homework. Now we have the letter Ra. Ra makes the R sound. If you can roll it, I think you can because you got a little bit of Hispanic in you, I think, right? Or you've been around it. So I think you can roll your R. If we place it on a line, it drops down below the line, basically where the curve is. I'm trying to get my pen. Come on. It drops down like that. Ra, re, ro. Ra, re, ro. Now, this letter doesn't connect on the left side. As you see, the rest of them, they said ba, bi, bu. And they connected. It doesn't connect on the left side. But as we look at this example, it can connect on the left. So we can put a tail here and a tail here. Because this is the beginning, this is the middle, and this is the end. So the ra, it doesn't connect on the left side, but it does connect on the from the front. But nothing connects after it. There's going to be a gap, as we see here. It doesn't connect. All the other letters so far connected. There are, I want to say six. I want to say 6 letters that don't connect. That's what's in my mind. 6 or 7. 7 letters that don't connect. This is the first one we have that doesn't connect on the left side.
Okay.
Start reading this one.
Rakiba. Rakiba.
Rakiba. Next one.
Ta.
Tar. It should be just tar because of the sukoon. That's a sukoon.
Oh,
Tar.
okay. I thought that was tarkabu.
Tarkabu. Naam. Next one.
Rakab.
Where's the vowel sign at? Underneath. What's the line underneath? What noise does that? What sound does that make?
Oh, rakib. Rakibtu.
Rakibtu. Yeah, exactly. Rakiba means, and these 3 letters, when they're in this order, ra, kaf, bat, means he rode. He rode, like he rode a horse or he rode a car, whatever. He rode. Rakiba. And if I were to make my example, now that you have another letter that you can make some letters out of, if you see what I did when I had kataba, what did I did here? I threw this long line in there and it made it one who writes. If I do that same thing, I put a long line in there, this becomes one who rides, a rider. Like this is a writer. This is a rider. All we did is add this line in there because it connects to this calf, but it doesn't connect to the ra. But when I add that, it becomes a rider. And if we get another 3-letter word and we add that there, which we're going to learn what that is eventually, we add that. It's going to be whatever these three words are. If it was, for instance, sitting, when I put it in this order, it's going to be a sitter. You understand?
Yeah.
So Arabic is very nice. Once I learn what a root means, then I have all these formulas. I can just, if I learn, say, 30 formulas, I can just learn one rakiba. And if I know 30 formulas, I can make 30 new words. That quick, just by knowing the formulas. You understand?
Yeah.
So
Makes
any
sense.
new word you come across, when you learn a new root, now all of a sudden you're opened up to 30 new words. And we'll get there. That's how easy it's going to be for you in the future, inshallah. So tarkabu, rakibtu, and then we have here
Bikrun.
bikrun. Bikrun is a virgin,
Bikrun.
right? You see, it's got the same three letters, but in a different order. A bikr is a virgin.
Bikrun.
Next.
Kabura.
Kabura. Kabura means to make something big. Kabir, like Allahu Akbar, comes from that same Akbar, comes from that same root. Kabura, to make something big. Next.
Ra. No, ta.
Up here.
Tar. Oh, so I thought it was okay. Ka. Kathura.
Kathura. Kathura means to make something a lot, to make it more, to make it in abundance. Here, the next one where you're trying to read it first.
Taraka. Taraka.
Taraka. Taraka means to abandon something, to leave it off, to leave it behind, to abandon it.
Taraka.
So if I put that little sign there, if I put that little thing there, one who abandons, one who leaves behind. You understand? So we could say Tariq as-Salat. Tariq as-Salat, the one who leaves off or abandons the prayer. He doesn't. Tariq. Here you go.
Taraktu.
Taraktu. Exactly. Okay, let's, if we can, read this line real quick, and then we'll make these homework, inshallah.
Okay. Taraka.
Taraka. We just read that one. Exactly. Natruku. Exactly. Excellent.
Tarakna.
Tarakna. Excellent.
Narkabu.
Narkabu. Excellent. And
Bikran.
Bikran. Exactly. A virgin. The next one is Zay. Zay, which makes the Z sound. Z. It's exactly like the Ra, meaning where it appears on the line. Exactly like the Ra, except it has a dot on top of it. It doesn't connect on the left. It doesn't connect on the left. It's underneath the line. It does connect on the right. It does connect to a letter that comes before it, but not to a letter that comes after it. Same thing. Za, zi, zu. Is that clear?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, let's read this.
Zal, Zalza.
Is that okay? Zalzak, Zalzaka?
No, a cat would have that
The
in there.
S, right?
Zalzala.
Zalzala. Okay.
Zalzala. Zalzala means to shake, like an earthquake. Zalzala.
Zalzala. Z, Zu,
There's a surah. There's a
Zur,
surah in the Quran like this. Go ahead.
Zur, Zurtu.
Zurtu. Exactly. That's a word. We'll get to it later on. Don't worry about it for now.
Tazu, Tazuk. Oh no, Tazurna.
Tazurna. Exactly.
Or is that a na?
Noon. That's a noon. Yes.
Nazala.
Nazala. Nazala means to go down, to come down. Like nazala, to come down. And anything in this, when it has noon, zay, lam in an order like this, it's going to be having to do with coming down, sending down. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tanzilu.
Tanzilu. Exactly. This line. Zorti. Yep. Tanzilna. Exactly.
Zurna.
Zorna. Exactly. Let's read this line. And then the next three, that's going to be your homework. And that's the end of this lesson. This is number 10, 11, 12. It's a little more homework, but I think you're getting it. And you said you did the last homework a number of times. So since you're able to do it a couple times, now you have some more homework. You have some more letters. Inshallah, it'll be easy. So let's just do this line here.
Okay. Tuzalze.
Exactly. Excellent, man. Excellent. May Allah bless you.
Nazalna.
Nazalna. Exactly.
Nazaltu.
Nazaltu. Exactly. Excellent.
Zur.
Zor.
Zur.
Just zor.
Zur.
All these now are words, but because he's not trying to make it too complicated, like I've tried to do a little bit by trying to jump ahead some, but all these are words that you're going to hear a lot when you read the Quran and the Sunnah. These are all words that you're going to hear a lot. Let's read this last word.
Kanaza.
Kanaza. Exactly. Kanaza. Yep. Excellent. If you do those last three lines of every chapter, then we'll jump into lesson 3 on our next gathering, inshallah ta'ala.
Sounds good to me, inshallah.
Got any questions?
No. Appreciate you.
I'm sorry if I went too off track trying to make things exciting for you and show you, look, man, you're getting close to being able to put some real stuff together. Like I said, there's 28 alphabets. you've now taken 8 of them. You've now taken 8. That's not even a third. And you're already getting words, and you're already getting close to the point where you can start to read. So look in the Quran and find out, so for example, if I write, we did this the other day. We said, when we look at this, we should see this letter here. Bis, right? And then we could see here a lamb and another lamb. And then we can see here a ra and a noon and then a ra. We can already see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters inside Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We're already able to see 6 of them inside of that phrase. And you can do the same thing with Al-Fatiha and other things. Open up the Mus'haf and point and say, hey, try to find what letter. Try to find a letter that you can recognize. And you'll be able to, before you know it, pick up the Arabic Quran and read it. Will you know what you're saying? No. We're going to get to that point. First, we need to get through this point. But eventually, you're going to get to the point where you can now start to learn the vocabulary and how words are put together so that you can, even if you don't know the word itself, if you know its root or something like that, you can begin to put it together until you understand everything.
Yeah, I was looking a little bit in the Quran yesterday, and I was able to
See some of the letters, but there's a lot of
I guess extra calligraphy that makes it a little bit confusing sometimes.
Right. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing, but for the most part, it's clear, inshallah. And it's going to just take practice. And inshallah, you'll get it. Inshallah. You've done so well. Like I said, I have good confidence, good faith in you being able to do it real soon.
Sounds good. Looking forward to the next
All right.
lesson.
Well, you do the homework and let me know when the next lesson is, and we'll set it up.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.